Welcome to another edition of Straight Shooting Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Dujane Bland, and we are back. NFL is back, and all is right with the world. In NFL news, though, some disappointing news for Josh Gordon, a year-long suspension for marijuana usage. Now, I know a lot of people are upset about that and kind of comparing it to the Ray Rice deal, but he was a habitual offender in this regard. Now, on top of that, he was busted with a DUI, I believe, also along with this marijuana usage. Very, very unfortunate circumstances for Josh Gordon. I hope he can get some help. That's just my thing. That's the one thing I don't like about the suspension with him, is that he needs to have some help. Suspending him and keeping him away from the facility is where you get into trouble, because you have nothing to do. So hopefully this guy can get some help. Hopefully it doesn't hurt his career too much. And hopefully he learns a lesson here that you have to stay on the straight and narrow if you want to do something and make something of yourself and have a great career. Now we look at the suspension of Brandon Meriweather. Again, if you look at the film, it didn't look as if he led or hit him with his head, but he had his head down. And again, we've seen it. If you look at his laundry list of penalties, he has been in this or been fined for this type of behavior over and over again. And it just comes down to the fact that when you're a habitual line crosser, you get fined, and this happens because of your past transgressions. And this is why he gets fined here. Now, I understand it may be a little bit excessive. I know Ryan Clark wasn't very happy about the punishment that was handed down from the league. But again, I felt that the hit was not a head-to-head contact, but his head was down. Brandon, you got to keep your head up, buddy. Got to keep your head up. This team needs you. And I know some people are thinking, hey, why don't we cut this guy? But there's really no one else that is of his caliber that they can rely on in the Redskins secondary fully right now. So they're going to have to keep him, and things are going to have to just go as they are. But hey, you got to keep your head up and got to do things right, or this is going to be a reoccurring problem throughout the season. Now, in other news, the yellow laundry has been out on the field in excessive fashion. We've seen tons and tons of flags in a lot of games, these preseason games this year. And the talk is, will this continue into the regular season? Well, if you talk to the league, in certain circumstances, especially with the contact rule that they're stringently enforcing, that could be a possibility. But I don't expect this to be a year-long thing. I mean, if we're going to have these many flags during games, you're going to start having the early games spill over into the late games, and late games spill over into the night game. And it's just going to be a huge mess. NFL's talked about time, talk about the game flowing well, and they use that in reference to the instant replay. Well, now, if they keep throwing these many flags, these games are going to be super long, and you're not going to get much accomplished. And second, these referees are going to need Tommy John surgery at the end of the year with all these flags that they're throwing. But I think that it's going to help teams this year, especially in the preseason, to get used to some of the rule changes. We know that they were at practices, various practices of different NFL teams being hard and stringent on these new rules that they have either reworded or added. Other than that, we can only hope that this is not going to be the case. This is way too many flags, way too much laundry, and referees are getting too much face time. So let's hope that that doesn't happen and continue into the season. Well, as always, we thank you for watching this show. If you have a question or something that you'd like for us to discuss on this show, please shoot us an email to straightshootingst@gmail.com. And as always, thanks for watching the show. Again, you've been watching Straight Shooting Sports Talk.